Welcome to my channel Worldwise. During the construction of the world's deepest diving pool in Dubai, engineers dug a tunnel 45 meters into the ground, but then an unexpected problem blocked their path. They discovered that in Poland, a diving pool named Deep Spot had already opened, with a depth of 45 meters. Now, obviously, if Dubai wanted the world record for the deepest pool, they would have to extend its depth from 45 meters to 60 meters. But while that sounds simple, in reality, it was extremely difficult. Experts calculated that if the pool were made 60 meters deep, groundwater pressure could easily push it upward. It's exactly like when you place a filled water bottle inside a pond, it floats toward the surface because of buoyant force. Similarly, the entire pool could be pushed upward from the ground at any time. At this point, Dubai's dream of building the world's deepest pool seemed to be collapsing. But then, one idea changed everything. When it comes to breaking world records, the first name that comes to mind is Dubai. With 425 Guinness World Records, Dubai remains #1 in the entire Middle East, and it seems the rulers of Dubai do not want to lose that position at any cost. One more record was added to this library of world records at the request of Dubai's crown prince, Sheikh Hamdan bin Rashid Al Maktoum. The world now knows it as Deep Dive Dubai. Deep Dive Dubai is not just a pool, it is a strange and astonishing world. With a depth of 197 feet, 60 meters, it is the world's deepest pool, containing about 14 million liters of water. That's as much as 6 Olympic swimming pools, or the amount 90,000 people use in a single day. The pool is designed with the theme of a sunken city, giving divers an experience that was once unimaginable. To keep the water clean, a NASA-assisted system was created that filters all 14 million liters every 6 hours. Whether the outside temperature is 50 degrees Celsius or 20 degrees Celsius, the pool water is always maintained at a comfortable 30 degrees Celsius for divers. But here we are more interested in the engineering techniques used in its construction, because the engineering community considers Deep Dive Dubai nothing short of a miracle. So what challenges did engineers face while building it? Let's take a closer look. The first and perhaps most foundational challenge was one of vision, planning and design. From the outset, Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed Al Maktoum envisioned more than just a record-breaking structure. He wanted a landmark that deeply reflected Dubai's cultural values. To find that inspiration, the project looked to the past. Long before the discovery of oil and the rise of global tourism, Dubai's very existence depended on a thriving pearl diving industry. For centuries, professional divers known as Gawasin bravely descended into the Arabian Gulf without modern scuba gear. They collected thousands of oysters, searching for the precious pearls that formed the backbone of Dubai's economy. Inspired by this profound heritage, the architects conceived a design in the shape of a giant oyster. The symbolism was perfect. Just as an oyster protects a precious pearl, this structure would house a unique aquatic treasure within. The beautiful exterior was one thing, but the true engineering marvel, the pearl of the project, would be hidden inside. The challenge was clear: how to construct the world's deepest diving pool within it. To solve this unprecedented challenge, a global consortium of leading architects, engineers, and deep pool specialists were assembled to brainstorm realistic solutions. Initially, the most straightforward proposal seemed to be building a colossal 45-meter-high structure directly on the ground and simply filling it with 14 million liters of water. However, this seemingly simple plan was quickly dismissed due to 2 critical flaws. First, according to the official Guinness World Records criteria for the deepest swimming pool for diving, the main body of the pool had to be constructed in-ground. Second, and more practically, Dubai's extreme desert heat, which can soar past 45 degrees Celsius, would make it incredibly difficult and energy-intensive to maintain a stable water temperature in an exposed, above-ground tank. With the above-ground option off the table, the team committed to a far more audacious and complex path. The decision was made: they would dig, vertically, straight into the ground. Challenge 2, excavation. The plan required a massive vertical shaft, 65 feet wide and plunging 147 feet deep, equivalent to a 15-story building. Digging this in the soft, unstable sand of the Dubai desert presented a monumental engineering challenge from the very start. In loose sand, the walls of such a deep hole would constantly collapse. To prevent this, engineers first had to build a powerful retaining structure. Their solution was a diaphragm wall, a reinforced concrete barrier forming a rigid perimeter deep in the ground. A specialized excavator called a hydromill was brought in. It precisely milled deep, narrow trenches panel by panel, down to the full 147-foot depth. Each trench was then reinforced with a massive steel cage and filled with concrete. This painstaking process took 2 months to complete the entire wall. With the protective wall in place, the main excavation began. Crews dug out the core in 5-meter increments, working their way down to the final 45-meter depth. But after just 5 meters, a new challenge arose: groundwater. At 8 meters deep, immense pressure from the water table forced water into the shaft through tiny gaps in the new wall. Excavation couldn't continue. A powerful dewatering system was engineered with industrial pumps running 24/7 to remove the water. This allowed digging to carry on for the next 2 years, during which a staggering 45,000 tons of earth were removed. But the pumps were a temporary fix. Once excavation was complete and they were turned off, water seeped in again. The entire structure now had to be made permanently waterproof from the inside, a meticulous process of sealing every joint that took several more months. Altogether, building the diaphragm wall, the 2-year excavation and the final waterproofing took over 3 years. A testament to the complexity of building a world first in the desert. Challenge 3. Poland's deep spot rival. With construction well underway, the team was confident. But then, news broke that sent shockwaves through the project. In Warsaw, Poland, a rival pool named Deep Spot had just opened. Its depth was an impressive 45 meters, the exact same record-breaking depth planned for Dubai. The race was suddenly a tie. The announcement was a heavy blow. The entire multi-million-dollar effort had been singularly focused on securing the Guinness World Record. A tie wasn't good enough. For a city built on superlatives, only an undisputed first place would do. When news reached Sheikh Hamdan, his response was swift and embodied Dubai's ambitious spirit. He issued a new directive. The pool must be made even deeper. The record had to be reclaimed decisively. This order, however, presented a monumental engineering challenge. The site's geology was unforgiving, with groundwater just 8 meters below the surface creating immense upward pressure or buoyant force. The original 45-meter design was precisely calculated to balance this force. Extending it to 60 meters would dramatically increase that upward pressure, threatening to push the entire structure right out of the ground like a cork from a bottle. The original plans were now obsolete. Immediately, construction came to a grinding halt as the team raced against time. After intense research and countless simulations, a brilliant 2-part solution was devised. First, the additional 15 meters would be excavated as a narrower shaft at the bottom. This smaller surface area would significantly reduce the added buoyant force, making the problem more manageable. Second, to counteract the remaining uplift, they would build a special under-reamed foundation. This involved creating massive concrete piles with bell-shaped bases deep underground, acting like powerful anchors to lock the pool structure firmly into the earth and prevent it from lifting. With this ingenious fix, the crisis was averted. The team successfully extended the depth to an incredible 60.02 meters. Deep Dive Dubai was back on track to not just claim the world record, but to absolutely shatter it. This comeback, born from a sudden challenge, would cement the project's legendary status even before it opened. Challenge 4. Filling the pool. But the challenges didn't end there. Keeping the 60-meter shaft empty was dangerous. Without water inside, buoyant force could still push the structure upward. It was time to fill the pool with 14 million liters of water. The problem? Dubai's water authority could only supply limited amounts. At that rate, it would take 3 months to fill the pool. So in addition to the supply, over 100 water tankers were brought in. Even then, it still took a full month to fill the pool. Before filling, the sunken city theme was installed inside. After filling, further problems arose. Some materials began to rust, and some objects floated. Holes were drilled into these items and extra weight was added so they would stay submerged. Finally, in 2021, Deep Dive Dubai was open to special guests, and in 2022 to the general public. As for the cost, Dubai's government has kept it secret, calling the project priceless. My next video, watching now.